Hello, Texas. Welcome to America First Texas. I'm your host, Tyler Cambry. America First Texas is an America First ecosystem. We are based here in the DFW Metroplex. We are serving Texans statewide, and we are a network of proud, patriotic, values-driven citizens who prioritize faith, family, and freedom. As America became unaffordable, families across the nation began looking to Texas for opportunity. America First Texas opens its arms with a powerful America First ecosystem dedicated to building a foundation that helps transition and transform you, your family, and your local economy. Follow along, subscribe, and share with those close to you as we build the strongest America First ecosystem via Texas. What's going on, everybody? Hope you're having a good day. Today is Wednesday, April Fool's Day, April 1st, 2026. How are we in April? What in the world is going on, man? Do not know. Anyway, so personally, well, not even personally, what we're looking for right now, we are looking for founding partners. We are in our week one, phase one campaign of America First Texas. We are slightly behind schedule. I am a one-man army at this point doing full production, pre-production, sales campaigns. I mean, I'm not the only one involved, but I'm doing all the heavy lifting, if that makes any sense. So what I'm looking for right now, I am looking to hire some volunteers who are willing to get their hands dirty with a intent to hire part-time, full-time, maybe extra full-time, overtime. I don't know. We've got a lot mapped out right now, and I will be as transparent as possible about this show. The America First Texas show that you are watching right now is not intended to be a daily podcast. It has the intention to be a weekly show, because the intent for this is more to be keep you up to date on current events, culture, and to be a mouthpiece for America First Texas, because there is a lot to translate. There's a lot of narration control, and at times you're going to need somebody like my perspective to relay certain things. I don't even know how to word that properly. In my opinion, the America First movement has been hijacked by people like Nick Fuentes. Not even sure how we got the name America First. He's America's worst. And if you follow him and you listen to that guy consistently, I'm sorry what has happened to you, but maybe you need to unplug from that show and you need to listen to America First Texas, where we are the true identity of the America First movement, but we are just the Texas region of that movement. And hopefully this inspires more states to come along, because we need to outnumber people who have hijacked the America First movement. And we're going to go get into that a little bit more on this episode. This is going to be a short episode. I'm not intending for this to be a long show today by any means, because like I said, we're pretty far behind, not pretty far behind, but we're far enough behind. I'm about 2 days behind my schedule. And that's because I'm putting out quality content right now, and you can't really time those things like a full, like normal scripted production. I'm doing some scientific production to convert as many sales as possible. And some of these types of content to put together are extremely particular, psychological, scientific, and it is what it is. I don't have a massive team behind me right now, so that production has put me about 2 days behind my schedule. But it is what it is. You roll with the punches, and it should turn into more sales conversions anyway. And that's the whole point of doing this. I'm trying to roll over any rebuttals and build as good partnerships and long-term partnerships as I possibly can. So if you want good long-term relationships and partnerships, you need to take your time with it anyway. So sometimes some things don't go along to your personal schedule. Things just don't line up with, expectations versus reality are often two different things. And that is also an issue with the America First movement, expectations versus reality. you know, they're, like I said, they're two different things. They're going to remain two different things. And I think that's where some of the frustration with President Trump's, the perspective of President Trump from a subculture of MAGA who are a louder piece of it and have, or stronger in their opinions, comes from, because the movement has, you know, somewhat of a hijacking. I'm not even somewhat, it's got a couple million. But if you look at the math, it's only like 6% of the movement. So it's actually a much smaller faction. You just have big voices saying big things. And a lot of young people are listening to it. And I mean, older people are too, but um, we'll get into that in a little bit and why that's happened again. I know we covered it the past 2 weeks, and a lot of us want to move on from that. And I'm not spending a lot of time on the like emotional standpoint of that. Or I guess that's the right way to phrase that. I'm not going to be beating up on people. I'm just going to reveal something so that we can keep moving forward. Sometimes I just got to keep hitting this nail on the head. Because like I said, that subculture that is into this right now, we need you back still. And like I said, the train is still moving on and we're moving up, but I'm still going to call out your name because in the end, we still need you. And hopefully you latch on to America First Texas instead of the America First podcast with Nick Fuentes. If I can get you to switch over and watch us instead, we'll heal you and we'll help you get back to the Trump train if you hop on the America First Texas train, because we are following directly behind it. No way to be side by side of President Trump. We will always follow his lead. And that is the way that is. And that's what you need to fall in line to as well. So when it comes down to the America First ecosystem, personally, I'm a cinematic multimedia content specialist. I've been in advertisement and video production, photo production for, I mean, technically this will be my 9th year with a with a legal business, but I've been into this since at least 2014. Advertising probably 2011, 2012, maybe even 2013. So I've got over a decade of experience in this. I'm in 12 to 13 years. I've actually been fairly successful. I've done some major things, but I was also working in the middle of a culture war. So a lot of the things that I had put together were being destroyed by those around me. And, that was a part of the awakening. I really didn't understand what was going on in this country because I used to be on TV. I used to be on all kinds of things. And we had like one of the TV shows that I was on was our episode was the most popular episode like that it had ever hosted. And so I was on TV all the time. And everywhere I went, I was recognized. And it's not like, it was never an ego thing for me. It was just really cool. I just like to be recognized. I was about as humble as you could ever be. And I loved it. So I was extremely popular and I gave everybody like the same amount of attention back. I had so many friends at that point, and something happened. I could tell more through Instagram than anything. The attention just reversed. And it was like around the 2012, 2013 time. Somewhere around there, maybe slightly before, but it was somewhere around there. I could tell the attention dropped off and the popularity went away. And it wasn't natural. Something was really weird about it. Because the rapport with people were great, but then come to find out later on, I realized the cultural hive mind had the eye had shifted to a different direction, but it was like forcefully moved and it was a negative direction. It wasn't positive anymore. It went to a negative direction. And it was because of the like the Operation Mockingbird, that circulating, I always want to say word of mouth, but whatever that thing is where there's a circulation of speak, your talking points. It's the same thing that's going on with like Tucker Carlson and these guys. They get paid, they get influenced by doing face-to-face interviews, and then they repeat things and then you soak it up and then you all repeat it. And then, you know what I'm talking about? It's this right here.
The Ash experiment is one of psychology's oldest and most popular pieces of research. A volunteer is told that he's taking part in a visual perception test. What he doesn't know is that the other participants are actors, and he's the only person taking part in the real test, which is actually about group conformity.
Please begin. The experiment you will be taking part in today involves the perception of line length. Your task will be simply to look at the line here on the left and indicate which of the 3 lines on the right is equal to it in length. So, for example, if you think
The actors have been told to match the wrong lines. The volunteer will be monitored to see if he gives the correct answer or if he goes along with the opinion of the group and gives the wrong answer. In the first test, the correct answer is 2.
1. 1.
1.
Two.
1.
Once again, the correct answer is 2.
3.
3.
3.
3.
3.
The Ash experiment has been repeated many times, and the results have been supported again and again. We will conform to the group. Again, we're very social creatures. We're very much aware of what the people around us think. We want to be liked. We don't want to be seen to rock the boat, so we will go along with the group. Even if we don't believe what people are saying, we'll still go along.
1.
1.
1.
1.
Group dynamics is one of the most powerful forces in human psychology.
1. 1.
Yeah, so this is honestly like the best example. It really is the best example. It's the group conformity. You know, the actors in the room are purposely saying this small piece that does not obviously clearly align with that bigger pattern. They're the same piece. The whole group is intentionally giving the wrong answer, right? But you're like, no, it's hello. Are you stupid? It's clearly this. Like, this isn't even difficult. But everybody sees something that you don't see. So you're like, okay, well, maybe I'll say what you're saying. Maybe I can see what you're seeing because I don't see what you see here. That's how they drag you down. And that's what happened. That is essentially what happened. And I don't know. I mean, I almost want to say I don't know if it was, intentional, but clearly it was intentional. Like, it messes with my head still. Like, how, like, clearly it's intentional. But the reason I keep going back to the not necessarily needing the reassurance, but just the like subconscious level of repeating it as needing reassurance is because so many people still fell for it. And we're falling back into it, but this time it's on the right, not the left. And that's how you know it's the deep state. The deep state is hard to explain. It's hard to put into a perspective. But if I keep showing you stuff like this, you'll start to be able to identify it because it's not just like only Democrats. There's something else like deeper into it. It's some sort of core that puts up actors inside of it in different areas when it needs to, and it guides your mind away, and they start saying things that you need to say because you're consuming the wrong shit. So that's what happened. I fell for it. I had no clue. I didn't really fall for it. I guess I fell. I don't know. I'm not going to get into that. But anyway, the point we were making is that that's what I was witnessing at the time that I was going through a time where I was like extremely popular and had a great relationship and a great rapport, about as neutral and positive as possible. And it just all started to turn, and people started to turn on me, and like, I couldn't explain it. I didn't know what the hell was going on. And then, Trump ran for office and they all revealed themselves. It took a few years. And I was like, what the hell is going on here? That sucks. It's part of being a Christian. You're supposed to be friends with everybody. But, when you're young and you have no life experience, you don't know these things. You haven't seen enough. You don't know that these people are manipulating you. They're your peers. They're the same age. They have the same amount of life experience as you do. They have bad intentions. You don't have bad intentions. Most of us don't. That's why we fall for the okie doke way too often. It's words. They control They control so much. And we need to get back to where we used to be. And that is part of the reason why America First Texas is going to maintain this show. You're going to need my mouthpiece sometimes. And hopefully we get some guests who are maybe even sharper, wiser in some of these areas, or maybe I'm just the sharp one sometimes. I don't see a lot of people who have a more clear perspective. I get good perspectives from one of the shows that I constantly consume content from, because it is the only reliable source of information that I can find besides the president of the United States. So that tells you a lot. I have watched a lot of shit, and I mean, at this point, I've got two shows I can tell you, but one in particular, it's the only path forward. So anyway, like I said, personally, I am a cinematic multimedia content specialist. So taking my advertisement experience to fuel America First Texas, our sponsors, and our partners. But we are also not just looking for America First aligned businesses, but we are looking for America First aligned, just normal, everyday, average citizens. So if you are looking for a job now, or you think you might want to find a job later on in the future once this builds and we have a more extensive network, you know, we're going to vet you, and we should be able to put you into some doors that you wouldn't be able to open in the first place. And what do we all know about getting a great job? It's usually who you know, not what you know. I think that tide's shifting a little bit right now, but we're still going to bank on that networking aspect of it. So, you know, if you don't want to take this head on, because we're still fresh, and you know, this cultural movement is still going to take some time to normalize. We're not going anywhere. I can tell you that much. MAGA and America First Texas are not going anywhere. We are the Republican Party now. We're over the 65% mark. It is the vast majority. We are coming up on 7 out of 10. 3 out of 4 people are MAGA out of the Republican Party. So we are gaining ground in an unstoppable momentum. It is the future. It is 100% the future, and it's not going to be stopped. There is no way to misstep. It's not going to happen. You can take this to the bank, as Nancy Pelosi used to say, but it's not given her circumstance. She said President Trump would never be president. Take it to the bank. Now he's the greatest president ever. So anyway, moving on from that spot. I mentioned that we were looking for hiring volunteers. And this is a hard thing to pitch. For one, we're brand new. Obviously, you know what the brand is, but it's hard to pitch, you know, free work. I'm doing everything for free. In fact, this is costing me a lot of money. But the whole idea of our phase 1 campaign is to raise the funds to employ and to advertise and to redistribute, and grow and network. And, you know, that just comes with a cost. It costs hotels, you know, money to go visit businesses in Austin or Houston. It costs gas. If anybody goes with me, I have to pay them. You know, it's business. It costs money. So, you know, this phase 1 campaign, I've got to raise a lot of funds to get this business off the ground. So I need a very minimal amount of volunteer work. If anybody wants to help and wants to be a part of this movement from the ground up, and hopefully within this first phase, which is a 6-month phase, according to my current time, well, maybe it's a 12-month, I don't know, but it shouldn't be. My phase 1 should be a 6-month phase. And I'm looking for minimal work. Now, I'm not looking for like, hey, I need you to come put in 40 hours a week. I'm doing this show once a week right now. So I'm almost kind of looking for somebody who will like do something with me once a week. Not, I mean, with me, like even going somewhere. I mean, it could be anything. It could be some sort of office work, literally anything that like you could imagine that you would want to help with. I could probably use your help, and it will turn into a compensated position. That is the intent. I'm not asking you to just put in your time for free, but phase 1, what are you going to do? So, you know, the part I'm mentioning about being a cinematic expert, during this time, I'm really obviously wanting to make America First Texas like the go-to media department for our clients, but being realistic with myself, we have to produce our own content, and we're going to have to produce content for the clients that we are also gathering to sponsor our products we'll be pushing out. I'm unfortunate. It's unfortunate to me because this is what I do, but I'm also going to be looking for photographers and videographers or business or media type businesses to network with as well. Um, I am simply not going to be able to handle the amount of incoming traffic from this. And to be realistic, this is America First Texas. This isn't America First DFW. I could probably handle the amount of traffic coming from DFW just by myself because I know how to network that correctly. But if I'm going to cover this entire state, which I am, there is no way that I could personally become the media department for every like major city in Texas. There's just no way. Um, so, our media department's going to grow, and that's what I'm going to put the most emphasis on financially to fund. That way we can handle our production plus the incoming traffic. So I would imagine our media department will probably grow the fastest because it's the most powerful and it's where I'm the most skilled. Um, well, actually, my biggest skill is networking, relationships, and negotiations, which that's where I really need to get to. But phase one, got to do the heavy lifting and get those positions up in place. If you have any interest in filming or photography or anything like that, and you want to be a part of at least our network with companies who don't have names like America First Texas, um, just know that you'll be working inside of a vetted ecosystem where we are all aligned. So, that's where opportunities could come in hand that maybe you don't personally work here, but you could be working somewhere better than you're working and you could do something that you're enjoying. The whole purpose of America First Texas is to make your life better, but we're just doing the business side of it currently. So we are looking for media companies to refer to. We have one currently in this particular county where we are at right now. Um, I've got one contact. They do photo and video. They're America First aligned, but they're kind of dedicated to this small region, and they probably can't handle the type of corporate work that we're going to be indulging in. So that is, I can tell you that is one area we are going to need some probably immediate help in. Um, so if you know anybody and you vetted them personally, you think they're at least somewhat aligned, send them my way. I will interview. Or if you are interested in working for America First Texas in the media department, also let me know. This could come down to, content writing, production ideas, pre-production, post-production, actually filming, producing, photographing, editing. There's a lot of different areas where this work goes into. Um, and that will come with training. I have plenty of training material that will get you into the right direction. All of this has been formatted perfectly. We're ready to plug you in. We just got to go get some money first. Should not be hard to do. Been doing this a while. So yeah, like I said, we're not going to be able to handle much of this incoming traffic because we're small at the time and we got to grow. But we just need to network a little bit more. So if you want to be a part of America First Texas or our friends and partners, hit us up. All right. With that being said, at America First Texas, we have a tremendous responsibility, and sometimes that responsibility is to help guide the culture politically. And we don't want to end up being a political show, but we are America First Texas. So politics is going to have to be something that we are involved in. But we've got to navigate that correctly and thread that needle properly. Is it needle that thread or thread that needle? I never say that right. I love that saying. It's my favorite, but I never say that right. I used to nail it all the time. So let's just get down to the nitty gritty. America First Texas exists solely because of President Donald J. Trump. We owe him everything. And at America First Texas, we pledge our unwavering loyalty to following his direction as our leader in chief. President Trump is the greatest president in U.S. history, and we fully stand behind him on everything. If we have personal perspectives, they're always short-lived. You know, it's the way we want to get things done may not always be the best way to get them done. We just think so initially, but these topics are obviously being revealed by President Trump at these times. So we do not know better than he does for the most part. And we have no reason not to trust him at all. I mean, I can't think of one reason not to trust him. He has not betrayed my trust personally at like with anything. I can't even give you one example. I really can't. The only reason people are even criticizing him is because that word of mouth thing circulated to where like we need to be critical of everybody. We can't trust anybody. We have to criticize everybody so that we make sure nobody ever gets a leg up on us. Like that's the mind frame where this criticization of Trump came from. And it literally came out of thin air. And then he added Israel into the mix, and they got you. You know what I mean? Tucker Carlson, that dude visited Israel and Saudi Arabia in February. And he appeared on Saudi state TV, and he doubled down on his criticism of Israel at that point too. So it's just interesting that he visited both, and then he decided to go to Saudi Arabia afterwards, after he visited Israel. He interviewed the Mike Huckabee, the ambassador, and I mean, was it July last year? He interviewed the president of Iran. So I'm trying to think of the best way to put this into perspective. Last July, he interviewed with the president of Iran, and he's, openly said since then he's been in communication with Iran officials and everything. And then he went to, he voiced his concerns with Israel back then, and it's snowballed into what it has now. And then he went to Israel and interviewed Mike Huckabee. And then he went to Saudi Arabia and he showed up on their state TV, their state-owned TV. And that's where he doubled down on his criticism of Israel. So his words, which we talked about earlier, are, remember the Ash experiment? Do I have to play it again? I'll play it again if you're not following along. Okay, I won't do it. I was just bluffing a little bit. But we know what the words do. So he's reassuring the Saudi-owned state TV that he condemns Israel and is doubling down on his conflict with them. And that is circulating over here as well. So he visited everywhere. He didn't go to Iran for the interview. I think he did it remotely, if I remember right, because he had to have a translator. I don't think I watched it, but I think it was remote. But yeah, so after that he went to Israel and he went to Saudi Arabia, and in my opinion, I think what he's doing is he's receiving funding to be on those shows, just like he would receive funding from a GOP district to have him host an event where he speaks in front of people. It's the same concept. It's just the same thing as selling a book, but selling a live tour, just like a rock band going on tour. You buy tickets and the artist gets paid while he does a performance. It's all the same thing. So, like I said, since then he's communicated with Iran officials or contacts. He said the CIA was logging all of it. And now we've got this oil conflict. And I don't want to say that the oil conflict is because of Tucker Carlson, which it isn't. But it's almost like, I don't know. When this goes on, it immediately reminds me of that 1973 oil crisis over there. I mean, I think they had more to do with like Kuwait and Iraq and some of those other Middle East countries. I forget the specifics of what countries are going on with that oil crisis. But at that time, the point is at that time, the reason a lot of that crisis was existing was because of the the support for Israel also. Um, and in war times, it's not always about like bombing countries and killing soldiers and terrorists. The economy has a lot to do with it. You stop the flow of oil. Oil is, the current oil is a currency, basically just like money, but money's tied to it and somewhat supersedes it. So, but I don't know. It was just weird how it related that the criticisms of Israel back at that time was the cause of all that oil issue. And the the narrative from Nick Fuentes and Tucker Carlson and those guys, they relate this to being Israel's war. And a lot of or not a lot. I keep saying a lot, but it's really not a lot. That subculture, that 6% of MAGA, that's the small sect, that are critical of Israel. They don't want our soldiers dying to help Israel. And I get it, but like Iran has been killing Americans since 1973 also. Was it 73 also? Is this oil crisis? Is this where all this stemmed from? Or was that 1977? I guess I should have done my math before I got into this. But I'm just kind of rolling off the top of my head right now anyway. Just like it's gonna be a quick episode today. But it was just weird how that all tied in together. They keep saying history repeats itself, but we're always looking like super far back in time. But now we're only able to go back like 50 years and like some of this history is repeating itself. So this isn't even like far. I was born in 1985 and this crisis was in 1973. So this was 12 years before I was born. So this isn't like new. This is super, super, super fresh. This is when like the Bee Gees were hot. You know what I mean? And, we grew up on that stuff. So the point that I'm making is that some of your hate for Israel, it's due to your undying loyalty for America and America first, but it's being influenced almost solely because of Tucker Carlson. And that's after he spent time in the Middle East, gathering intel, receiving funding, and getting paid to speak like the news stations have taught him to do his whole career. It's not that hard to figure out. I put into the best perspective that I could, but I mean, we are still America first, even after all of this. Like, this is not because of Israel, but we're with them together because they're in it also. It's our war against Iran and we're killing Iran off. I mean, that they'll grow back again, it looks like, but I mean, like, we just keep on top of that thing. Most of you don't have to like, I'm still speaking to a small section of you in this. So this isn't really relaying to everybody, I'm sure, but hopefully this messaging gives you some reassurance and some better talking points. Because if you just put things into perspective for people, this is the perspective. Tucker Carlson is basically like, like Aerosmith going on tour and he's getting paid to speak. And, other outside influences are paying him money to speak while he's also getting paid by you to speak. So he's like double dipping and then leading you astray and making you America first and driving you away from Israel, which is not good for Christians at all. I don't care what you have to say. It's laid out perfectly. By the one person you should take any advice from, which is God. But Israel's it's our little brother. We're big brother. We are number one. We are America first. So I hope that helps a little bit. We have to have family. We got to have friends. Now, our toppling Iran has everything to do with the United States ending a 47 long war, 47-year long war. What I can tell you, it's America First Texas. We're fired up for America 250. That's in July. Dude, that's 3 months away. May, June, July. We're 3 months away. 3 months. 3 months away from the 250th birthday of the United States of America. I'm happy about that. The golden age just started. I know we're not experiencing it because of the gas prices or whatever. The stock market did good. Did you check the numbers today? I should have, I should have gave you some of that content. At least you had something positive to look at today. Trying to make y'all positive again, son. But with the golden age just started, we got a lot to look forward to, and I'm optimistic about the future because I have no reason not to trust President Trump. We get a new Fed chair in 6 or 7 weeks. It's April. When was that? Was that May 15th, May 16th? Dude, are you serious? I want to know what's going to happen to the interest rates. I think these gas prices and, a little bit of inflation, some uncertainty in the stock market, that's going to make a great argument with these board directors to drop the pants on these interest rates. Because we need to get this real estate market moving. We got some work to do. It is tough out there. I think listings are, from my research, it looks like listings in the real estate market are doing abnormally well. There's a lot of inventory still. And I can tell you this. This is my perspective, but if we're going to drop the pants on interest rates and get these things down to 3%, and I think didn't President Trump say he wanted a 2% rate, a 2% mortgage rate? Come on, man. We'll see. That's it's a goal, an aspiration. He's not like, we're going to get to 2%. He's just like, let's make that a goal. Let's aim for that. But if you all get on board, do you know how closer we would get to those goals? Instead of criticizing them and listening to this dumb shit all the time, if you just get on board and push that man forward, all of us together, group together, push that man forward, you know how much more he would get done with our support? So much more, even if it's 10% boost. If we gave President Trump a 10% boost, we would get all this stuff that we're wishing that he would do. But he's taking care of all this extra stuff because we're not giving him 100% boost. We're just most of the culture is just sitting here just crossing our fingers that he's really going to follow through with some more things. We want to see such drastic changes, but we're not supporting him. And his whole purpose is to give us the power back. And all we have to do is just rally around him and push him harder and forward more, and he'll work harder for you. We have to convince him that this is what we want. He just toppled Iran so that the people could take it back over and make it Persia again, or whatever they're wanting to do. But he's freeing that country from that terrorist regime. But even the people are like, oh, thanks. They want President Trump to do more for them. But he cut the head off so that you can run in there and get control of it now. But they've lost so many lives from the protesters being killed. I'm sure they're demoralized, and it's, they're probably the more aggressive ones, or, they'll have to rebuild and gather. I'm sure they're stunted because of that. Didn't they say 30,000 of them just died recently? So, that's a lot. That is a lot. So I'm sure they took that lick, and that's why we have to keep helping them. We have to stand behind Iran in that instance. That there's a lot of good people over there. Remember that we talked about that perspective of people. or that spectrum. Where are they on that spectrum? How many are on this spectrum? How many are on that spectrum? This good spectrum, they need a lot of help. This bad spectrum, the head's cut off right now, but they're wild and crazy. We don't know what they're going to do. Even the citizens, what are they going to do? You got to fight. You got to fight. You got to take that shit over. President Trump just cut their head off, man. But, you know, they just lost a lot of people. I'm sure they're just kind of like beaten down. Wouldn't you be depressed? 30,000 MAGA got killed by the Democrats. Wouldn't you be depressed? You know, you saw some repercussions. I'm sure you're hesitant no matter what happens, right? You need God to push you forward and, or moral support. And that's where I think we need to rally behind all of this and push all that forward, because we are number one. Us, the Republic, the citizens, the people, we are the number one. We are the number one. Our words are more important. Our motives are more important. They're more ambitious and they're more positive, and they're the only ones that matter. So rally behind them, push them forward, make their life better. And in turn, our lives will become better as well. That is the whole example that President Trump is trying to extend to you in the first place. Like, look, it's up to, I will do the hard work. It's up to you to build the rest of the structure and the foundation and lay that forever in a way that it cannot be torn down again. It is a brand new day. It is a golden age. And this is the start of it. We have to build it from here. So I am personally fired up. I am 100% fired up. Still a little beat up because I'm trying to pick some of y'all back up off your knees. I know you'll get there. I know you'll get there. I hope if you really are America First and you have fallen for America First podcast with Tucker and Fuentes and all those queers, I hope that you follow a real America First Texas movement, America First movement via Texas, because I personally know you. Maybe I'm the one you should be listening to. Turn the TV off. All your focus right here and all your focus on President Trump. Let's just watch two channels. You have the White House app now, so you can always tune into what he's saying. Let's cut everything off. If you don't want to jump on that train, jump on America First Texas, and we'll get you back on that train too. We'll be your stepping stone to getting back to where you need to be. But you got to go through us to get there first. So pretty much going to leave it on that. If you want to leave with something positive, we got something positive to lead off with. Have you seen this? I think most of us have seen this now. This is one of the coolest things, I think. Now, I know this is an advertisement video, but I got to be honest. I've had a couple of shock and awe moments this year already. One was during the speech for President Trump, the State of the Union, when he laid out the the number one like job of government, which is to protect the people. And then none of the Democrats stood up except for what, Fetterman? Did he? I wonder if he even stood up on that one. I think he did, but that was like one of my biggest shocking moments. Like I was cooking and I turned around and watched it, and it seemed like people clapped for 5 minutes straight. I don't care if that was a minute and a half of clapping. That was the longest minute and a half of clapping I had ever seen, because every second of them sitting down counted, and that drew out time. And I was like, wow, I don't care if you oppose them 100%. Like you just, you just showed to what extent you'll oppose him. He got you. Like nobody should vote for Democrats ever again. Ever again. They will, but good luck winning anytime soon. It's not going to happen. We're going to have at least 12 years of MAGA, if not longer. They burned this country too bad. So President Trump, or actually his son, Eric Trump, revealed this. And when I watched this video, I got a similar feeling to when I watched that State of the Union and he shocked the crowd. This is one of the coolest things I have ever seen. I can't even put into words how that made me feel when I saw this. This dude, I will be visiting this. Let's check this out. Dude. Dude. Do I need to play that again? I'll play it again. That is so sick. I am 100% going there. 100% going there. Man, you saw that desk at the top, one of those top floors? I want to work at that desk. I'll give up America First Texas just to work at the top of that tower. I don't care. I'll give it all up. The money doesn't matter. Dude, are you serious? I hope it looks better than that. Dude, that's one of the sickest things I've ever seen. I don't even know what to say about that. That blew my mind. Dude, bro, if you don't think America's back, that's just an advertisement video. Are you serious right now? Oh my God. That stage with the crowd behind the stage and then the crowd in front of the stage. I want to give a speech up there. How much does that cost? I'll do it. Can America First Texas give a speech up there? I'll do it. I'll write the best speech I've ever written. I'll do it. Dude, man, y'all have got to get behind this, dude. Like, we'll get more of that. Imagine like transforming the whole country into like that. You know what I mean? If he like puts the tariffs into place and keeps them there through the Supreme Court, which you think, isn't he visiting them today? Oh, I haven't gotten an update on that. Isn't he visiting the Supreme Court today? Dude. We can get past that stupid constitutional ruling and get it done. We have no more IRS. We have no more like federal income taxes. And we can put all our focus into that and we'll all have money to spend. Like, dude, come on, man. Why are y'all not more fired up about this? Do I have to play it again? Like, what's it going to take for y'all to get like excited? What has to happen? What has to happen to where like, to get y'all to like rally behind this and stop worrying about what other people think? Like, it doesn't even matter what they think. Look what the future is. That's what you want, right? That's what I want. 100%. I mean, that's a negotiation. That is 100% a negotiation. Like, convinced, sold. Here's my money. Like, how are people not more fired up? I don't get it. Because you have to be critical of everybody. So you have to have the privilege of criticizing President Trump. Damn, I mean, my trust issues are bad, but damn, that's the worst trust issues I've ever seen. Somebody takes a bullet for you. You know, the opposition tries to lock him up for 1,000 years. He's like eliminating communism throughout the entire world, just blowing up like the worst terrorist on earth. but you deserve the right to be critical of them? Are you serious right now? That's why I was making the point the other week. Like, what else does the man have to do to earn your trust? I can't think of any reason not to trust him at all. I can think of anything. I'm more like, that's why we're so hard on you. Like, what are you doing? Because I don't know. Are y'all just not sober at all, ever, or something? Like, where's your influence coming from? I don't get it. Like, dude, I've been putting together a demo reel for America First Texas for a while, and I'm perfecting it so I can show it to companies, to get this network going. And it's nothing compared to that. It's nothing compared to that. Are you serious? Dude, President Trump's dream for America is bigger than anybody's. Bigger than anybody's. We are limited by what we know. That man wants to make things happen. He wants America to look like that. And all he needs is your support. He's going to do it anyway. All he needs is your support. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. What else does he have to do? We're going to do it anyway. That's why I told you we are moving on and we are moving up. I hope that you see it. I am trying my hardest to lay this out for you. We are moving up and we are moving on and we're moving up again. That's all I got to say. This is this week's episode of America First Texas. Thank you for watching. I know I'm a little hesitant in my speeches. I am finding the right ways to say things to get your minds back. And this show will be more energetic and more positive as time goes on. I am dragging y'all through the mud at this time. And I know some of y'all are already ahead of this. And maybe hopefully I'm still getting to you and you're able to align with my ending message. But we're 52 minutes into this, and I meant for this to be a 30-minute episode. But I just felt like everything just kept needing to be said. And I just have to keep hammering this home. But we are pretty far behind schedule. 2 days behind schedule is not good for me. I must get to work. So thanks for watching America First Texas. We are the true America First podcast. We will not be a daily show. There is a possibility we could increase the weekly output, but we are a weekly show. I hope you tune in once a week. The days will vary. We are not going to be on a consistent schedule at this current point in time. It's just not necessary. We are a small company. We're like just entering into phase 1 of growth. So, if you're watching this, 75% of you know me personally. The other 25% currently are just attached to the company and growing in the movement. So thank you for being here. I hope that this guides you in the right direction. Oh man, just thank you for being here. I am so excited for the future. You have no clue. It is going to be a lot of work. It's going to be so much work. And I am down for it. I am down for it. I'm putting my heart and soul into everything into this. And I am America First Texas more than full time. So I could use some help. If you want to help, you want to get involved. Honestly, even your moral support is volunteer work, in my opinion. Just like we need to rally around President Trump, I need you to rally around me too. It's a real thing. We all need it. Just be there. Maybe you really can't contribute a lot. Just do the best that you can. Whatever, doesn't matter. We love you. God bless you. God bless America. God bless President Trump. And God bless Texas. Thank you for watching America First Texas. I will see you next week. Reach out, say what's up. I'll see you soon.